whether it is arbitrary and random. In ancient times, the world must have seemed pretty arbitrary. Disasters such as floods or diseases must have seemed to happen without warning or apparent reason. Primitive people attributed such natural phenomena to a pantheon of gods and goddesses, who behaved in a capricious and whimsical way. There was no way to predict what they would do, and the only hope was to win favor by gifts or actions. Many people still partially subscribe. They offer to do certain things, if only they can get a made for the course, or pass their driving test. Gradually, however, people must have noticed certain regularities in the behavior of nature. These regularities were most obvious in the motion of the heavenly bodies across the sky. So astronomy was the first science to be developed. It was put on a firm mathematical basis by Newton more than 300 years ago, and we still use it even on following the example of astronomy, it was found that other natural phenomena also obeyed definite scientific laws. This led to the idea of scientific determinism, which seems first to have been publicly expressed by the French scientist, Laplace. I thought I would like to quote you Laplace's actual words, so I asked a friend to track them down. They are in French, of course, not that I expect that would be any problem with this audience. But the trouble is, Laplace was rather like Proust, in that he wrote sentences of inordinate length and complexity, so I have decided to paraphrase the quotation. In effect, what he said was that speaks of all the particles in the universe, then we could calculate their behavior at any other time, in the past or future. There is a probably apocryphal story, that when Laplace was asked by Napoleon how God fitted into this system, he replied, "Sire, I have not needed that hypothesis. I don't think that Laplace was claiming that God didn't exist. It is just that he doesn't intervene to break the laws of science." That must be the position of every scientist. A scientific law is not a scientific law if it only goes against some supernatural being.
Universe at one time determines the state at all other times, has been a central tenet of science, ever since Laplace's time. It implies that we can predict the future, in principle at least. The butterfly effect in practice, however, our ability to predict the future is severely limited by the complexity of the equations, and the fact that they often have a property called chaos. As those who have seen Jurassic Park will know, this means a tiny disturbance in one place can cause a major change in another. The butterfly flapping its wings can cause rain in Central Park, New York. The trouble is, it is not repeatable. The next time a butterfly flaps its wings, a host of other things will be different, which will also influence the weather. That is why weather forecasts are so unreliable. Despite these practical difficulties, scientific determinism remained the official dogma throughout the 19th century. However, in the 28th century, there have been developments that show that Laplace's vision of a complete prediction of the future cannot be realized. The first of these developments was what is called quantum mechanics. This was first put forward in 1900 by the German physicist Max Planck, as an Hawk hypothesis, to solve an outstanding paradox. According to the classical 19th century ideas, dating back to Laplace, a hot body, like a piece of red-hot metal, should give off radiation. A couple of it would lose energy in radio waves, infrared, visible light, ultraviolet, X-rays, and gamma rays, all at the same rate. Not only would this mean that we would all die of skin cancer, but also everything in the universe would be at the same temperature, which clearly it isn't. However, Planck showed one could avoid this disaster if one gave up the idea that the amount of radiation could have just any value, and instead understand that radiation